Welcome back to another episode of the Chaosium House RuneQuest campaign, The Tales of the White Bull. As always, I'd like to thank my amazing players, Claudia Loroff, Philip Glass, Richard August, Neil Robinson, and Linda Borgen. Why don't you guys quickly introduce yourselves, and then we're just going to jump right in.
Hi, I'm Neil, and I'm playing Nisk. And Nisk, sadly, despite his combat prowess, is not apparently very intimidating, or so bandits think.
Exactly.
Hi, I'm Linda, and I'm playing Kala Troublemaker. And right now, Kala is very excited to be shacking up with a worm.
Hi, I'm Philip. I play Colbust One Arm, a wolf pirate who is delighted to find that there are, well, usable piratish people in Prax as well.
Hello, I'm Claudia. I'm playing Gina Ghostfriend, and Gina loves to talk to ghosts.
I'm Richard. I'm playing Garen Grimseeming, and I now have the same haircut as the drawing of my character, so that's good.
Awesome.
This
Okay,
Rolian style.
So we're gonna change the scene. We are back in New Pavis. You all have returned to your villa, which probably does not look as swanky a villa as it did under its previous owners. I was thinking about this now. I doubt you guys have ever bothered to have it be whitewashed. I'm not even entirely certain how clean you all keep it.
Don't we have a household manager?
Yes.
Isn't his main job there keeping? You often have Praxians coming in to drink and raise a glass to the White Bull. That being one of your. So I was realizing this. I'm imagining that the whole.
I'm sorry, I have to be a little bit here. Orgor is really good in managing these things. So he has, of course, organized staff. And I'm pretty sure we have a proper household manager, and he and Orgor are talking with each other. So actually, we have a complete Australian, perfect managed household here.
Okay.
With whitewashed, with clean floor. There are actually servants who clean the floor after the Praxians.
No, we can't afford servants like that.
No,
they work for free for booze.
But we do have a manager.
We have We have two. We have co-managers. One's Praxian himself, so he's probably.
Yes, you have a Praxian.
I'm not sure that the occasional Praxian licking beer off the floor is considered cleaning, but I mean,
it is in
I'm
Praxian society.
That. Yeah, I'm fine with that. That's perfectly okay. We can just get a lot of sand and just get it all over the floor. It's very easy to keep it clean that way.
No. Orgor has 60% managed household.
It's a shame that you keep bringing Orgor everywhere you go, and he's barely ever been back at the villa.
That's the reason why he has a good twin.
Oh.
He's also, if I remember, I think he's pretty well catatonic or something, having to had groomed.
He's had a very bad week.
Yeah, I think he's still having
He's not.
That's the reason why he now jumps into the making the villa actually nice again and managing the household, because he doesn't want
if
to
I
go
recall,
the next grooming session.
Didn't he of the Magnificent Butt offer to purchase Orgor from you?
Yes.
Yes. Orgor, when he gets back to your villa, he just curls up into a ball in a corner.
Oh.
No, he jumps
after having had
to show how important he is for me.
By forcing him to clean.
My room.
Oh, poor Orgor. The point is, you've returned back to your dilapidated villa, and there's now not only you plus the how many key flunkies do you have?
We had 7, I think, plus the
yes
5 bandits.
So
Ex-bandits.
What? Ex-bandits. That's right, because there's a qualitative difference between you guys and bandits. qualitative. You have a seal.
Yep.
You have a piece of paper.
Yep.
Yeah, we're legal.
So I'm just wanting to get kind of a little impression for your return to this. It's kind of like returning to a somewhat rundown well, it's exactly what it is, a slightly rundown, looted house that you took at spear point or sword point from its previous owners, and then have turned into a drinking establishment.
And shrine.
What's the area looking like now? Because most of the houses around here are occupied by storm. So it must kind of just fit in with the rest of the street, right?
Oh, it totally fits in with the rest of the street. It's got that, it's got that freshly conquered look to it. Maybe there's, I don't know if any of the Praxian cons put any effort into the maintenance or whatever of the houses. It's you remember the movie For a Few Dollars More, right? The Clint Eastwood spaghetti western remake of Yojimbo. You remember how that town looked? The rundown town in this. That's kind of what your neighborhood is beginning to look like.
But I'm guessing that even, the great, where the Lunars had their camp or whatever, where Prince Argrath is, probably not, in tip-top shape from that perspective either.
Probably not.
So I don't think we're, are any walls torn down?
Not yet.
There we go. So I think we're doing pretty well.
Not yet.
There's
There
no
you
holes
are,
staved in the
Claudia.
roof.
Gina, none of the walls have big holes in them yet.
It's good.
Yet. All right, so you're back.
Is it my job? I'm living in the cellar. As long as the cellar has no big holes, that's fine.
That would be disturbing if the cellar had big holes. Let's just get kind of an idea of what your guys' plans are here. It's about a week before the Storm Bowl High Holy Day, if I recall.
Yep.
So you tell me, what is your guys' plans in New Pavis? I saw a list of things from Neil that he suggested.
Well, I obviously recovery is quite important. We've got some.
Are you injured?
No, I will need to get some rune points back.
Yeah, me too.
Now, that gets a little bit complicated. You can try on. Let me just go to the section on recovery of rune points.
Wow. It's sour.
There is no major holy day. You've just passed your big high holy day.
Yeah.
When you got the iron sword blessed.
Exactly.
That was pretty darn good.
That was a good day.
It was a very good day.
The best day. It'll only go downhill from here.
But this is what you can go on what is called a minor holy day. There's usually once a week or so there is a minor holy day. You get fewer rune points back on this, and you still have to offer sacrifices and whatnot. Now, one thing that I would like to throw as a rules cheat for you guys for mini-maxing. 2 ways to help get rune points back a little faster. One is for you to maintain a holy site to your gods, providing it with regular offerings and sacrificing. And it's typically, this is going to be something that would cost you somewhere between 25 and 200 lunars a season. So it's not cheap. But for doing that, you get 1d3 extra rune points replenished with a successful worship roll. So that's a way of getting once a season 1d3 back. But it means spending a lot of money maintaining constructing and maintaining a little shrine somewhere to your god.
Well, some of us already have that as an advantage.
Yes. I mean, I have a shrine in the cellar, and I'm actually performing some warming bodies and so on. I'm pretty sure I'm getting paid for it.
So do you have 10? Do you have 9 ghosts to worship with you? That's the challenge you probably have.
Why do I need 9 ghosts to worship?
You need 10 people basically to have a small shrine going, right? That's what we have to do for the white bull.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's not. We just need to make sure we get that.
Shrine.
No, for any shrine needs that many.
Okay. So do they have to be living or dead?
That's my question. I don't know if they do. If they can give magic points.
I have no idea. I mean, I'm pretty sure I have 9 skulls there with candles inside and names actually engraved.
This is why you don't want her to take care of you.
And they sit there and they glow in the dark when I do my rituals. So do they count as worshippers? I'm pretty sure they do.
Do you have the money for it?
How much money do I actually get?
You're not getting a lot of money for that yet.
I mean, I have money.
You're not ever there.
Whenever I'm there, I'm doing things.
How often are you guys actually there at your to be able to do other things?
Whenever I massage a dead body into the underworld,
Whenever you massage a dead body into the underworld,
that sounded so bad.
Yeah. I think we should rethink our associations here a bit.
Of course, I get my share for the. No, I'm not saying service now because it sounds even worse.
For the team, the work, the problem.
Work.
The problem
I get my share for the work from from the purse of that dead body. So of course I have money.
Okay,
I don't know.
I just want you guys to consider that one. The other one is, with the approval of the temple hierarchy, cult members can commission a votive image. So basically a little statue of yourself, all right? And that statue usually costs between 15 and 100 lunars to make, depending on how good you want yourself to look in the little statue. And for each votive image placed in a temple during seasonal or high holy day worship ceremonies, you get 1 rune point replenished each season. You can have as many images in the temple as the priests allow, but having an image in the temple typically requires a successful loyalty to that temple role. So basically, if you're really good to your local temple, so here the Pavis one could be, you could have little statues of you put in there to get you extra rune points. The idea of this is that means that even if you're away and not present at the ceremony, your votive image is.
Oh, because your statue is there praying for you.
Exactly.
I like it.
All right.
Like it.
And just as an aside, this was a mana point, magic point, rune point, mini maxing idea that flashed into our mind when we were in the British Museum looking at the gigantic collections of Cypriot votive images. And we figured that temples have to be like this. So if you want, you can have little terracotta versions of yourself made and painted and placed in the temple, as long as the temple leaders dig you.
That sounds very good to me.
That sounds good.
But which temple would it be?
For you, it'd be simple. It'd be the Earth Temple.
Yeah.
Could come to the Stormbolt Temple.
I quickly have to check for a kit.
Okay.
So get some statues for me as well. Find the best statue maker, okay?
Yeah, we pay for it. We don't. I want to be clear now. We don't have a lot of money yet. It's not. I'm not. That's not against Gina. That's just in general, right?
We have enough money for some statues, though.
Yeah.
Do you?
Well, I
don't.
have some. I have some money.
If you have personal money, that's fine. But what I'm saying
I
is,
have personal money.
if we look at the fact that of the money we get, half of it basically is going to go to support our group, not us, or more. And so,
well, niece, old friend, if you don't have any personal money, I could buy a statue for you.
no,
For
I have enough money to do it. Actually, I'm pretty fortunate so far because but I appreciate that. But because I think we should all do it. But I just want to be clear in terms of the money that we're coming out of for people. I can get us a huge amount of money, but you probably don't want that because it would involve giving up. Oh, I don't know, the magic necklace with some gold that we found earlier, or an iron sword, or all these other things, right? Our wealth right now is in physical things. We do have some weapons. We've got some extra crossbows. We're probably gonna have to use those to sell. One thing I don't know from Jeff is, you've got these dudes, right? These bandits, for example. How much do they cost a season? So, I can kind of track that.
Okay.
That involves you building a spreadsheet.
It kind of depends on how much you want to, what standard of living you want to give them. A full-fledged free man standard of living, if you want to support it, costs about 80 lunars a year. All right.
Okay.
So if you think about that ends up being not quite a wheel a season, right? There's 5 seasons, so it ends up being just a little bit less than that. I think that's what 16 lunars a season.
Yep.
If you want to go less and treat them as tenants, you can pay probably half that. You just have to allow them to commit acts of banditry and expect that for them to supplement their income with a little honest theft.
Yeah, as a pirate, I have no problems with that whatsoever. Garen doesn't need to know, obviously. We'll just tell him, we're paying them full. No problem.
By the way, I want to show you guys, because this is...
You're already looking so skeptically, Garen. I mean...
He always is, isn't he?
Pirate.
Okay, I want to share a picture here that is...
Oh, wait, I think I have to give you sharing rights. That they've changed the settings.
Oh, that's kind of goofy.
No, wait, let's see. Give me a sec here. Advanced sharing options. Okay, Jeff, you are good to go. Sorry about that.
These are what I mean by votive images. So we can go down, you can go down to the little, do you see the little tiny ones here?
Mm-hmm.
You can have stuff like this, really nice and little ones, or little goofy ones. Those are probably about 15 lunars a piece. Or you can go to, these fine looking ones in the middle ranks. Those guys are probably 25. Or you can have the really neat individualized ones for 50. Or if you want to be really seen as an important person in your temple, you can go for these fine life-sized versions of yourself for 100 lunars. Look at how awesome they are.
Do we get more points out when they're bigger?
Everybody knows you're a more important person.
But you do not get more rune points.
No, but you get more status, and people pay more attention to you in your temple.
Is this important?
Yeah.
I want one of those.
You want a life-size one?
Yes.
So do I, for sure.
Yeah. I feel like I never really got the full credit for the Ragnaglar event. So
this is your chance.
This is my chance with the horns and everything.
We told everyone about that. in Carlo all the time. And
Yeah,
your
it's
it was basically Carlo who, stormed in front without thinking.
it's the without thinking part. You should
All
you should
right.
have said bravely, but no.
That fits in Stormball better.
Guys-
Final charge.
Guys, tell me if this isn't awesome, though. You
Yeah,
could
it
have
is.
your own one of these
Yep, totally.
in a
Yeah.
temple.
Yeah, but we get only one one rune point back and not 1, 2, 3.
It's an extra one.
So we can add everything?
You add an extra rune point to what you get for each one
Okay.
of these that your cult allows you to get. But anyway, so you guys have to decide what you're going to do on worship. You may want to offer sacrifices to your god and try to get a rune point, a chance to make a worship roll to see if you get that back. You may try to get some terracotta figures of yourself made and placed in your favorite temple. These are all ways that you can try to start getting them back, but it's obviously you guys are using a lot of rune points, and that means that you guys need to figure out a lot of ways to be creative ways to keep throwing that wealth that you've taken and try to get magic from the gods.
So, I liberated some zombies and showed them the way into the underworld. Is this enough to actually roll on rune points when I'm in front of my little shrine again?
No, you need, in order to go to your shrine to actually get much out of it, you need to actually offer sacrifices in a temple. And the
Why
temple
don't
that
you
you're going to
convince the Earth Temple to set up a better shrine for Taikora Tech, and that way that you would be able to get them to bring in and help you out.
How good is the Taikora Tech shrine in the Earth Temple?
It's a minimal shrine. Well, the main goddess here, let's think about this. The main goddess in New Pavis, there's Ernalda. Let me see what other shrines she may have in her temple. Boy, you guys are just filled with questions today, aren't you?
You started it.
Sorry, I
Give
have
us
a
options.
cat directly behind my computer.
Yeah, we were just going to visit the dwarves and ransack a building in Crook Street. Practical stuff. I mean, visit a tenement on Crook Street.
You do have style, Colbrest. I really like you.
Oh, well,
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brazen and yes.
Okay. Let's see, that is in the public sector. Temple to the Earth. It is... This temple is a perfect cube in shape, counting its basements. The Earth Temple is home to the most important cult in New Pavis, Ernalda the Earth Mother, built of stone blocks. Statues of the goddess and her many daughters are carved into the walls. The temple descends into the earth, where the most important ceremonies and rituals are performed. Men are not permitted into the underground chamber, the womb of the goddess. So it seems to me that it is, I'd say, given its importance regionally, this counts as a large major temple. So it's going to have shrines to Ernalda, to the Green Goddess, to Azrelia, to Taikora Tech, to Babeester Gore, and to Voria. And the husband deity that is worshipped here are Orlanth and Yomalio. both claim status as a husband deity. So it's a shrine. This is where the shrine to Tychoratek is.
Good. Then I go there and convince them that it's very important to pay a lot of attention to the Tychoratek shrine.
Do you have a loyalty to the Pavis Earth Temple?
No. Why should I?
Then they'll help you in this stuff.
I have a loyalty to the holy country, and I have a loyalty to Australia.
Okay, so Claudia, this is an important question for Gina. It works both ways. If you want them to support you, they have to expect that you support them. And that is expressed through the loyalty passion.
I don't think you have a very high loyalty to that. It's about your same loyalty with our graph.
It's not worth it.
Okay. Your other option.
Sorry. I mean, I'm coming from Australia. I mean, sorry, I grew up in the necropolis next to Notchet. I know what it means to be to worship and all that. That's not right here.
Which is totally fine. It just means that they're not going to be terribly thrilled with the idea of doing anything there for you. Now, there is another option, and that is
shrine.
Yes, I have my skulls.
You can spend 1 rune point each time to do and anyone can do this, to sanctify a place. You can spend 1 rune point to spend it, perform your worship ceremony, and hope that you get some amount back.
Yep, I'm doing that.
Okay.
My last rune point.
Well, we have to see, okay? Oh, you can knock it off and we can roll on it. How about the rest of you guys?
I don't think I need to do that. I think I'd rather put in a votive and try and do it on a minor holy day for Orlanth.
Holy day, what are you going to offer as a sacrifice?
I don't know.
A pig?
A
nice animal?
something like that. Not a full cow or anything like that. I don't think, not for that, considering we've got a high holy day coming and we don't have a lot of, I don't want us to dwindle the herd down, because we need to use that to fund the whole place of people.
It's like 2 lunars for a pig.
Okay.
How about you, Colbrast?
I still have all my points.
Okay. How about you, Garen?
I'm going to offer a pig to the Temple of Humax.
Okay.
We can also spend a bit of time meditating in that before a ritual to increase our worship chances, by the way. If I remember.
Inkala?
I'm going to spend my own money and buy a cow.
By cow, do you mean
Bison,
a
of
bison?
course. I really dislike them, so they're perfect for sacrificing. But I'm not going to use our herd. I'm going to buy one.
I mean, they're expensive. They are 20 lunars.
I have 389 on my sheet, so I'm fine.
Okay. Wow. That is an impressive. And Claudia, what are you going to offer Tychoratek? You're going to have a picnic in your basement.
Question. I will actually, yes, I will have a feast.
A pig?
What is actually really...
Pigs are very earth animal oriented. Dogs are also
no, then it's a
associated with
pig. A nice black pig.
Okay. So I'm going to give you a bunch of bonuses onto your chances here. And then you can make your meditate to see if you improve. Those of you guys that offered a pig, that's worth +10 to your worship. Those of you who offered a bull, that's worth +20% to your worship. Those of you, each of you guys, you're not going to get a Sacred Day bonus because you're just kind of doing it where you can. Claudia, you get no bonus for your location because it's in your basement.
I'm just thinking, how much was a bull?
20.
Then
20.
I go for a bull, actually.
Okay, that adds 20. All the rest of you guys get a, Gina, you get a +10 from the temple because you're doing this to Storm Bull.
You mean
No,
Kala?
not Gina, Kala.
Kala.
Garen, you get a +20 because you're doing it at the, actually, in Kala, you also get a +20. And because you're doing this at the Air Temple, Nisk, and Colbrast, if you are, it's worth a +30.
Colbrast doesn't need to do it, although he's welcome to come. We'd love you to come.
I mean, I'm coming along. I just don't,
Yeah.
Hey, it's free food, Colbrast.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, so who always augmenting with meditate?
I'll try and do that. 33,
Gina,
success.
Okay, so that adds 20 more. In Kala?
Oh.
I fail.
You lose.
So -20, isn't it?
Let me just double check. I believe it is.
I hate dice rolls.
Because you want them always to be successful. I understand this.
Jeff, I have an 80% chance, and what do I roll? An 89.
You rolled an 89? Did you, so you failed your augment for dance.
Yes.
So you're also going to be, have a minus here. Just give me 1 second.
Actually,
here.
that's not true. I have a 90 on dance. Oh, I just made it.
So there you are.
Yoo-hoo.
Add 20% to your chance on worship. I just need to look up something really quick.
Yes, it's a 90.
I'm the only person with a high worship. You guys just aren't devout.
No, I'm actually not that bad. So
Yeah, and Kala, you lost 20. Garen,
Yes,
how went your meditate attempts?
I'm not trying. I'm sacrificing a bull. That gives me plus. Sorry, not a bull, a pig, and I've got +20 from the location. So I'm already past 100. So I'm just not risking it.
Okay. So everybody roll for your chances of getting points back.
Okay, I succeed with an 87.
Okay.
I succeed with a 65.
I succeed with a 74.
I succeed with a 50.
Okay, each of you get back 1d6 rune points.
Yeah, I'm full.
Okay, I'm full. I wasn't down all the way, so.
I rolled a 5, but I have only. Can I have more than 3?
No.
You can.
That's fine.
You gotta sacrifice a rune point.
You got to sacrifice permanent power.
I have
And then you get a new
18.
spell, a new rune spell. Yep. You get on to
Actually, I
power
should
17.
do that.
Yeah.
I'm doing that.
17, going below 17 from a min-max percentage is really bad because then your skills get worse.
Yeah, but I have 18. I get.
No, I know. I'm saying, so for you, going from 18 to 17 is really good.
Yeah, my 17 to 11 drop was heftily bad.
I
on mine.
do that. So I have now a power of 17.
And you get to
I have
choose.
now 4.
You need to offer, though. You need to offer the Earth Temple.
Again?
Yeah. You need to offer them because they need to teach you the rites and whatnot. They are willing to teach you the special prayers and rites for a new rune spell. It will cost you 100 lunars.
Yes.
Okay. This is one of the nice things here. See, money comes in, and what happens?
You
I've played your
spend it.
games way too long, Jeff. You're never going to get
Just-
rich in adjusted.
It's just reality. Well,
Yeah. Economics, right?
The more you do, the more you spend.
if that's
I'm
good
going to
about
spend 100 lunars of my personal wealth to get a life-size votive of my character if they'll let me.
Roll against your loyalty to the high priest of this temple.
Now this,
That's
technically,
our
I mean, that's our graph. All right. Yes, no problem whatsoever.
Okay. So, what was that?
No, I'm gonna do that too, but I didn't mean to. Didn't mean to interrupt. Sorry.
So what kind of rune spell can I have?
What's all?
Hey, do you currently have Command Ghost, Summon Dead? You know what
Bless
might be?
Grave and Spirit Block.
You know what might be a really useful one?
And there's all the regular ones. Yeah.
What might be a really useful one for you is a spell called Turn Undead.
Oh, turn undead into
No, it does
dead.
not
Run
turn
away.
them. Turn Undead makes the undead want to flee from you.
Yes, I take it.
Considering we're going to go fight undead.
Mhm.
And Garen, you got all your spells back?
Yep.
And Turn Undead is a 1-point spell. It is stackable. This stackable spell affects one dead creature for each point sacrificed. The caster must attempt to overcome each target's magic points with your own power. And then based on the result, I look at the Turn Undead table.
Good.
So you could, for instance, attract them and then turn them, and while they shuffle away in panic, we can, throw javelins and stuff at them.
Yes.
Jeff, I have a question and I need you maybe here because I have scribbles on my character sheet and I think these are notes from you and not from me.
What do they say? Kill them all?
It's a question. I don't know if this is money or something different you put on, or these are numbers and a word I cannot read. And yeah.
Well, I don't think I need to see it right now, do I?
I don't know. I think this is, I'm pretty sure money.
Show your character sheet onto the screen.
You scribbled. You see what you scribbled? This is definitely your handwriting. So 180, this is 320, 160, and something up here I cannot read.
I'm sure it has nothing to do with anything.
Why do you write it then on my character sheet?
I don't know. Maybe I was looking for a scrap piece of paper. I don't know. Anyways. Let us keep going, guys. So it sounds like everybody got their rune points back, and Nisk is having an 100 lunar life-sized terracotta statuette of himself made for the temple. Is anybody else gonna go to the potter's area?
I have no money.
Paula is as well.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna go.
Are you all going for the life-sized ones?
Hell yes, with the helm.
With the helm.
Yes.
Totally awesome. How about you, Garen? Or are you going to go for one of the tiny ones?
No, I'm just going to go for something far smaller and less ostentatious.
How much? The range is from 15 to 100.
20.
Okay, so I want to let you know what that kind of means here.
I'll go for a 15 one.
A 15?
Yeah.
Okay, I want to show you guys. Let me just get ourselves. I've got to zoom in order to actually show this. Okay, so let me share my screen here. Okay, guys. So I just want to point out, you see these little tiny warriors?
Mm-hmm.
Little tiniest ones? That's what you paid for, Colbrast.
Yeah, perfect.
One of these little ones.
Best way, easiest way to get the job done, basically.
Exactly. Like, see this dude without any feet, just kind of with a little helmet on it. Obviously who he is. It's got one arm in order to look more accurate.
Yep. Well, many of them have actually, I see.
Yes, they broke off. He's probably sold you a broken one.
Probably.
For the rest of you guys, it's for you, Garen, it's one of these slightly taller ones. Do you see the slightly taller ones?
Yeah, very happy with that.
And then in the background, we have Disc and Inkala, and you can imagine Inkala's with the big helmet here. Boy, and then you got yours. Look at yours. Look at yours. Look at this.
Can I bargain with him? I think 15 is, to be honest. I think the arm has fallen off. Let's be honest here.
Okay, make a bargain.
So you went to go buy a broken one to get a discount. That's awesome.
Did you succeed, Colbrast?
I just succeeded, yeah.
Okay, you succeed in getting a discount for the broken arm.
So now it's like 12 or 10 or...
Exactly. And the guys will paint these.
Good.
So they're nice and garishly painted. So there you all are. Jot that. Those of you who have done this, jot down so that you have that in your in which temple. And I guess from time to time, what happens is when the temple fills up with votive images, the priest kind of goes around saying, "Okay, who's paying to keep theirs?" And whoever doesn't, then they sweep out and they clear some room for their.
They go to the back room.
Images. They go to the back room, the storage room.
Oh, maybe it still works.
All right, what's the next thing you guys wanted to do here?
I want to talk to that treasure trove guy, and I think that Colbrast actually has some important things he was going to do, but not tell everybody.
Do we need to do something secretly?
Crooked streeted.
Oh yeah, right. That is important, yes. But I mean, obviously, everyone who wants to can come along.
No, I just expect you to give me a cut, and I won't say anything to Garen.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll be your distraction. Hey, Garen, how about this training? Let's just see how well these cross can do.
Oh, is it time for your riding training, Garen? Yeah, so that would be my plan.
I did think about how to pay basically the bandits, and I think what I'm going to do is make that. We have one of them. I've got to go find her name again. The bandit, the one that's kind of leader of the bandits. She's the head of it, and basically pay her Brustus the full amount of season, and the others less right now until we make more money. Get the loyalty of the leader, and then they can help balance out the other ones. That makes sense.
Okay, so shall we jump and just do Nisk's thing and Colbrast's thing? Is there anything anybody else wanted to do, Gina?
Nope. I'm
okay.
Fine. The point is, I cannot. I do not want.
You're having a moment.
We lost her. Yeah.
We briefly lost her. Okay, what was that, Claudia?
No, I cannot afford a statue anymore because I spent all my money, and I don't want to put it in a temple. I have my own shrine.
You have your own nice Gothic shrine. is the
Yeah.
goth girl den.
Their men are not allowed.
Schools set up with names.
She
on
sits
top.
around listening to Bella Lugosi's Dead and Bajas and Susie and the Banshees, doing her little dancing and such, and being moody.
A little bit depressive is chic.
Oh,
All right,
said
so
no man ever. Sorry.
let's go on to Nisk. Treasure Trove Herbie is easy enough to find. It takes basically a day of wandering around the bars where adventurers are likely to hang out. And Treasure Trove Herbie is, he's about he's a middle-aged guy, hunched, dark skin with unruly hair, forever speckled with dust and plaster particles, and he's there without a drink before him, looking at a map. And he's alone. And
All right.
he's in the bar the inn formerly known as Gimpy's. I'm spacing on its current name. Once upon a time called the Temple.
Okay. Don't see a drink beside you there, my friend.
Treasure Trove Herbie says, well, I just spent my last silver on this map. It's a fake. It's a fake, of course, but it's a good fake. And a good fake is nearly as good as a real map, because a good fake requires some knowledge in order to be convincing as a fake. So I'm studying this fake to figure out what it is that the map maker actually knew.
I bet you with a drink in your hand, you'd probably be able to help figure it out a little better.
He agrees and calls you friend. He is very that pleases him to no end. And to give an idea, drinks are pretty inexpensive. So a clack will be more than enough to have him drink a bowl of barley wine or 5 bowls of ale. Because of course you guys don't drink out of cups; you drink out of bowls.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely order a couple of rounds of ale. Maybe we'll have another one later, if you think about it. And drinking out of our cups.
Yeah, exactly, Nisk. It's like remember drinking coffee at Chimeriade. You drink it out of the bowl.
Yep. So I noticed that you managed to sell. You sold a map most recently, and you sold it to a guy. And I'm going to say that if I remember, he was Zarlon the Magnificent.
Zarlon the Magnificent. Yes. He wanted a map to Blind King's Castle, but he did. He didn't have much money, so I drew him. I prepared him a map of what is commonly known in the area. But he did not want to pay money for research. For a good map, one should always pay. One should always pay for additional research, because then I can go to the Knowledge Temple. I can ask the scribes, and I can compare accounts, and I end up with a much better map.
Right? Did you? So you didn't mark the zombie ambush point, did you?
Where was the zombie ambush point?
Well, maybe I'll be able to tell you that. Zordon the
Since there was a
Magnificent won't be
zombie
able
ambush, knowing where the zombie ambush point is a valuable addition to any map.
I agree. It's too bad that Zordon the Magnificent didn't have such a knowledge of a zombie ambush point. I'm just going to say that.
Herbie says there is an element of caveat emptor, buyer beware, when you go for a discount map. You get discount information. Perhaps if they had paid for a higher quality map, I would have been able to have learned.
So you know where the zombie ambush point is?
I could.
But you don't now.
I don't know. Where was this one? Is it
well, it wasn't where they died or where their entrails were ripped out. Well, sorry, where we found them. Which was on the way to Blind King's castle, halfway up the hill.
He asks for another drink. He asks for another drink. By the way, he doesn't seem upset at all about this. He seems more fascinated by this.
I'm not upset either. So I'm a little concerned because, I was trying to get, I want to get some information more about Blind King's castle. And yet when I find out that they got a map from you.
Well, I make the best maps.
Sure, yep. And it didn't mention the zombie point. And all it said was that there's, a head of gold. And that was it. I mean, that's pretty rough. It would be hard to say if your maps didn't give enough information or any warnings for adventurers. I don't know if they'd want to get more of them. I'm a little...
He goes through, he goes,
I admit they were bought
Zarloon,
right?
Zarloon.
They probably bought you 2 drinks for it, right?
He says it was the one wheel map. He paid me 1 wheel, which is a good amount. If you've seen the map, you'll have to agree that my drawing was magnificent. The lines were straight and clear. The hills were finely presented. I used the more expensive and laborious process of designating the hills with lines as opposed to just an X saying there was a hill. There was care put into this, but they only paid for my scripting services and not for me to try to find out any additional information. So
didn't pay you for your research.
No, of course. No, he just paid for what I knew at the time. And that's the shame. That's the shame is that with enough research, it might be possible to make an entire map of the rubble. I proposed that. To the new Lord.
To our graph, you mean?
Yes. So yes, to the White Bull. But no, he did not wish to. He thought there might be more efficient ways to learn.
Well, I mean, he had a map of the rubble. In fact, he gave me part of it personally.
May I see?
Do I have it with me? Sure, I've got it with me. I would have brought it with me to go visit him. So I'll show him some of the map stuff that was done.
He says that was amongst his finest work.
Do I believe him? Oh, do I believe him?
He says, look at and you guys have seen the map here. Herbie is very proud of this one. He is very proud of it, and going to the where is that? I'm putting into the Slack channel there. The
part
the charter here, the charter. Yes. If you see here in our Slack channel, he points out the fine lines that he used for the walls.
Yeah, it is great work.
He even put a scale in. He says he says you'd be amazed how few cartographers ever
Right. Did they
put
mention
a
the fact
scale.
that? Did they mention the giant?
There's a giant?
Yes.
Superb. He says, but why is this map torn?
Because this is my piece of the rubble.
Yeah, Argrath tore his map up.
But it was big. It was to be put on a wall.
It was to be shared among Argrath's companions.
Oh, Herbie is very sad now. He says, but do you have any idea how long it takes with just a feather quill?
Well, I will treasure this piece of it until the day I die. You shall be proud. You shall not.
But yes, he recognizes each
And I didn't
and
crumple
every
it up
line
completely
of it.
when I pulled it out of my pocket. You know,
Right?
I didn't have it like completely crumpled. It wasn't, but it certainly wasn't in a fancy scroll
Well,
case.
anyways, Herbie wants to know on this where the giant was.
I can tell you where the giant was. I can tell you about the zombies.
Did you kill the giant? Is it still there?
It is still there.
Oh, it's worth more then. That's the mistake that most adventurers make, is they tell me about things they killed. Nobody wants to know on a map where dead things are. They only want to know where they want to know what the living things are.
Or the unliving things, is in terms of the zombies that destroyed our friend the Magnificent there.
He says that if you buy him another drink, he will raise that drink to Zarlun the Magnificent.
All right,
despite his ignominious ending. Anyways, he's very pleased with you on this, although he is disappointed about what happened to his map.
Mm-hmm. And I believe it's his map. He made the map.
Oh yes, he shows you his technique for drawing hills. He even gets out a piece of parchment and starts making hills.
Okay.
He's nearly as useful as he of the Magnificent Butt, but he doesn't demand to be groomed.
Good. Just some beer. All right.
So
Herbie
wants to know.
Well, we are probably going to go back to that Blind King's Castle. And but I don't think you have a map much of that area, or you would have at least stressed that to our friend, our ex-friend, I guess. He who was killed by zombies. And so I think that right now, maybe we have more to trade later.
He says, well, I marked clearly at the castle. I marked the castle with the undead rune. Do you not see that?
Not on my map, but I'm sure I didn't see his map. I think it might have been tortoise red, but zombies are lost.
It is on your map.
Where? Is that the right map? Looking
So
at, did you post a second
this?
Oh wait, okay. You have a different. I have a different. Sorry, I was looking at a different map. Ah, I do see the undead map. Yes.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
He says, I clearly marked this. He says, I clearly marked it. He says, did you see the legendary zombie duck?
Oh my goodness.
Oh no.
No.
I have heard stories of a zombie duck, and I have even heard stories of a vampire centaur.
Ooh.
Well, the vampire centaur makes sense.
He's just making that up to annoy us.
He says, I do not believe the stories of the vampire duck. He says, because where would their teeth be?
No, the vampires grow teeth if they're... Yeah, good question.
The idea that there is a vampire duck is simply absurd.
But a zombie duck...
I see your many ales into your conversation.
Yes, he is.
He's been on ales before. Okay, well, I will thank him. And we've got the thing. I'm not going to try and get any more information because I actually don't believe he has it at all. I think he can draw a map of a region he's seen, but I don't think I want to hire him to do research. I'd rather just go right to the temple. If we wanted to do that to this series. So, and I'll thank him. Yep.
Oh yes, he's happy. He's how many cups of wine or ale do you end up buying him?
I would have probably got him like 3 cups, maybe 4. I wouldn't have had the last one though. One.
Oh, he's happy. He's happy. He manages to keep drinking this afternoon. Let's jump over to Colbrest One Arm over on Crooked Street.
Yep.
What is your grand technique for going to the home there? This is not a villa. This is, with a name like Crooked Street, you get an idea that this may not be quite so nice a place. And Zarlun the Magnificent may not have been one of the first over the walls.
I could imagine, yes. Well, the first question is anyone else with me?
I'd like to join.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd like to join.
So, yeah, because otherwise, I mean, I could always have taken along Field Jar and Simban, I guess. But yeah, Carla, you come along, it's fine. So technique-wise, well, first of all, take a look at the street. What kind of a neighborhood it lies in?
Of course, you gotta. Of course, if you want me to join, it's not gonna be a sneaky thing. Just saying.
I'm not sneaking.
Yeah. No. Okay. Good. No.
Are you wearing weapons and armor? This is the new Pavis of Argrath, so there's no ban on being armed to the teeth here.
We are probably armed pretty well. Yeah, just weapons and armor.
Proudly.
Okay, so the bottom floor, usually the way houses are, the bottom floor is divided into 3 rooms, one of which is usually, one of which is a shop. The general area, the central area is a general cooking and eating area. And there is usually then a 3rd area, which is storage, and on the 2nd floor is divided into either one large room or a number of smaller ones, because all of the buildings more or less follow a standard standard format here. Doors are not usually locked unless you're somebody wealthy enough to actually afford a lock.
So did we get the exact address? I think so, according to my notes. We did. So we don't have to, search Crook Street for this. So yeah, we go to this address and have a look what it looks like, if there's anyone there.
Yeah, I mean, the place that Zarlin described is it is there is a woman there, some kids, some servants. It's not like a prosperous place, not a prosperous, it's a free man's place. And there's a woman who wants to know who you are. She says that she is Thalia, and she warns you that her man is one of Argrath's soldiers. Is one of the White Bull's soldiers, and she warns you not to trespass here.
There's no shop or anything here.
There's a shop. The shop is usually a separate room area. This is not a shop. You go into the central area because nobody lives in the shop. So if you imagine, maybe it would be easier to very quickly sketch this.
So while you're sketching, I think I would just ask her if, is your husband Zarlun the Magnificent?
Ah, yes, you've heard of him.
We've
He's
met him.
was so worried. She's so worried. He has been in the rubble for 2 weeks.
Yes, well, I'm afraid to say Tiger Attack has caught up with him.
She asks what happened to him.
Do you really want
Tears
to know?
are welling up in her eyes, Colbrast.
Yes,
Her
well,
eyes.
I'm a hardened wolf pirate. I don't, these things don't really impress me very much. He was killed.
Well, I
by-
actually feel for her, so I go and
I was
hold
just
her
going.
while he's talking.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he was killed by zombies. They had no chance whatsoever. They half ate him and dragged him across the rubble.
Colbrast, not
Feeling
so
it.
much detail. The kids are there. Jesus, just
Thalia bursts into tears. She bursts into tears, wailing, ululating.
I'll join her with the drum.
And tears at her garments and sing, "Oh, oh, Zarloon, Zarloon, my love." And there are 2 small kids, of course, who also start crying.
Oh no.
I hadn't seen the kids, to be honest. So
You
yeah,
just
well,
described in graphic detail what happened to their father. So,
yeah.
Actually,
I
over
mean,
graphic. I don't think the
kids-
zombies actually ate them. They were just dragging them back.
Well, I might
there
have
were
exaggerated. it.
entrails.
So kids.
Anyways,
Yeah,
Thalia is devastated on
Don't
this.
cry, children. Don't cry.
She asks what if that what became of his body.
Well, we buried him.
He had a proper burial by one from the Thai Kortek temple. She did a very good job at sending his ghost to the right place.
She asks if you returned with any anything for that she can put as a shrine,
Just
so she could feed his ghost. Claudia, did you?
I have just a very bad internet connection.
Yeah.
We're talking about the Zarloon. Did you guys bury him? Did you burn him? What did you guys end up actually doing to him?
I think Gina built some sort of stone
Little rock cairn, stone cairn.
cairn for him. Yeah.
Yeah. I
For
built
protection.
actually exactly. I did a stone piled stone over him, and did the right rituals and so on. So his transfer should have been smooth.
That means we can go back and get a part of him for her.
Well, she probably meant some sort of, a bracelet or something.
Did you take anything off him? Of course.
No.
I don't remember.
Oh, yeah. Well, didn't he have weapons and stuff with him?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actually, we don't know which is his because it wasn't with him. Remember?
You know what?
We just found a whole pile of it.
I'm sure I, have some sort of dagger from the stash of weapons we got. I say, well, as it so happens,
Nah.
and present her with this.
I'm passing you a look. Like, are you okay? Oh, okay, yeah.
Well, so Thalia is going to take Zarloon's dagger and make that to be the center of the little family shrine, so that they can offer him libations in the other world, so that when he's in the caves of the dead, he's well fed. Because it would be bad if there was nobody there to offer him food and drinks. because then there would be
Absolutely.
nothing for him to eat in the afterlife.
All
but
taken care
dust.
of.
So the other thing is, you see, as you would imagine, we still have undead there, and they keep attacking people, and who then meet the same horrible fate poor Zalun met, which I have described before. And I was wondering, we are pretty sure that he was trying to do something against this threat. Has he spoken of anything of late?
Yes,
What he was going to do?
He and his companions had heard that there is a golden head in Blind King's castle. A golden head. Let me even see if I can tell you more than just keep repeating the phrase golden head. 1 second.
Yeah, but that's what we heard before.
Yes, that's why I'm trying to see.
We're trying to get some new stuff.
Come on, give up the goods.
Hay says that there is a magical golden skull there, according to Zarlun, or Zarlun claimed. He thought it might have been that of a dead troll chieftain, or even something there that holds whatever mummy that dwells in a crypt deep beneath the Blind King's castle. There's a mummy, according to Zarlun, that dwells in a crypt beneath the castle, continuing its existence despite its mortal death. And Zarlun thought that the magical golden skull was either the thing that granted the mummy he thought it was the thing that granted the mummy its power.
So you think if one were to remove this golden skull, then possibly the evil power
His
of the
plan
mummy
was
would be
is that if
destroyed?
it was a golden skull,
Yeah, it's a golden skull.
it's a golden skull.
Yeah.
Could melt it down, and it's a lot of gold.
I'm trying to be inconspicuous here, you know.
Sounds like you and Zarlun would have got on.
Yeah, I'm beginning to regret his premature death, to be honest.
And his children there want to know how whether he died heroically, Colbrast.
Yes, he did, children. Fighting against undead is horrible. They start. I mean, you can see what happened to me.
Colbrast, careful with be careful with the details again.
Oh, they can handle it. Don't worry. So what happens is they start sort of biting into you and taking bits out of you. And
Colbrast.
Once your liver falls out,
Colbrast.
it's very difficult to keep on living. And the worst thing is you can end up undead yourself. So if we hadn't found your father at the time we found him, he might now very well be roaming the rubble, preying on unsuspecting travelers.
Uncle Colbrast tells the most terrible stories, children.
So, children,
do not listen to him.
As I was trying to tell you before, don't cry, but grow up and learn how to fight. And then go into the rubble and kill zombies.
Uncle Colbrast means
Yes.
he will keep telling some really good night stories if he ever visits again, but don't listen to him.
Oh my gosh. You know something? These kids think Colbrast is like a hero out of legend. Right? Hero out of legend.
Well, they'll be old enough once.
And one of the boys, it's two
Yep.
boys.
Mm-hmm.
One is Bendroth, and the other one is also named Zarlun, so that he can be Zarlunson.
Zarlun, not quite as magnificent yet.
But Zarlun, who is Zarlun Zarlunson, who is 12, and his younger brother Bendrith, who is 9. Zarlun is determined to learn how to fight and wants to know if you will. He says, "Will you teach him how to fight?"
Yes, of course. Why not? I'm sure you'll learn a lot.
All right. So,
I also have other friends of mine who are even better at fighting in certain circumstances.
Well, Uncle Colbrass is a very good teacher. Yes. You should really learn fighting from him.
He has to be, because he has only one arm, which means he must be twice as good as anybody else.
I got it in one boy. Okay. I sort of ruffle his hair and give him a silver coin or something. Says, well, I'll be back and teach you how to fight.
All right. So I want you to write down on your character sheet somewhere, Zarlun Zarlunson, age 13 years old, determined to learn. What?
Age 12.
Age 12.
Yeah.
Is determined to learn how to fight from Colbrast.
Good.
So, anyways, Thalia, Zarlun's widow, she is, of course, worried that because, of course, without Zarlun, there is no plunder. Zarlun was the breadwinner there, and is thankful to you two for bringing this news, but is filled with. There's much crying. She's lost her man. She's lost her livelihood.
Does she have I ask her, she doesn't run the shop in front here, does she? Or does she have a profession at all?
No, the owners of the building, that is, rent this.
Yeah. So I have a suggestion. The White Bull will take care of you guys. And we could like strike whatever the expression is in English, like strike 2 flies in 1 hit or whatever. And
birds with one stone.
Yeah, 2 birds.
No. I'm convinced in Prax the expression has to be strike 2 flies with 1 hit with
one stick. I like it.
Yes,
one
something like that. Yeah. And so I do have a suggestion. We could keep you and pay for you and pay for your family. We could also make it easier for your son to train with Colbrass if you came and did some. We have a Thai Quartet lady wants it clean in our temple shrine. Maybe you could come clean for us and we could keep your family.
So you're offering to hire her as a cleaning lady?
Yes.
She's not. Can we not like dress it up? A stupid.
No. Warden of the shrine, obviously. I mean,
But she will be paid well because she will be paid to actually be kept, not just.
It's gonna be.
I'll pay her at least the first year for my.
I don't think it's a bad idea, by the way. I
think it's quite a good idea. I think it's a great idea. I just think we're going to pay you to clean our shrine occasionally.
Yeah.
Might offend her, given that she was married to a man who called himself the Magnificent.
Which, by the way, I still haven't seen any, sort of concrete evidence of why this could have been the case. But no, we'll call her the Warden of the Shrine.
It's kind of like you have the guy that's like 10 feet tall and you call them tiny.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the Magnificent.
Yes,
why he's called that.
Yeah, but I think she could be. I mean, I'm considering the kind of pay that will actually keep her and her kids in a well way.
Yes, but Carla, we can't just hire everyone we meet.
No, but the way certain things were presented here is making me feel a little bit responsible in this position, and I can pay with my own money for that.
Okay.
So I'll hire her.
Okay, what are you going to hire her as?
What is a good what's a good title for someone like not manages the household but is in charge of aesthetics and whatever?
Servant
to look after the shrine.
Groundkeeper.
Groundkeeper, that's
That's-
great. Yes. Unless
Shrine keeper.
Shrine
Yes,
keeper.
Yeah, a
shrine
new
keeper,
nickname. That's
Or
the shrine.
poor Gina is about to find out that there is hired help here.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, that's August's duty to put her into work properly.
We're taking responsibility for raising her kids. This is the way Nisk would say it. I'm not obviously not
Yeah.
there yet, but
Yeah,
if we get
but
back,
sorry, we cannot take everybody in here.
This isn't
you're
anybody.
right.
This
But
is
I
the
do feel a
wife
certain amount of responsibility as a protection of Orlanth protecting Ronaldo, and the fact that someone has been left without with their kids unable to wander. Plus, we get 2 new recruits that we can potentially start training, and there's a lot of use for good 9 and 12-year-old boys when you've got a whole pile of military guys to help them do stuff like that. They can easily earn their keep and provide a lot of value for us. At the same time, we can provide them protection and food, which is right now what they need.
I'm pretty sure there are a lot of street urchins you can actually hire for if you want to have more of these.
You're right, but these ones, there's a certain obligation, and that this guy was, killed by
the
zombies.
father died on our land, so because there were zombies there.
And
no, we liberated. I mean, he was
just
liberated.
Because you want everybody to die and be a skull on your shrine doesn't mean we do.
No. Maybe, but no. No, but still, I mean.
Yeah,
I love it.
When you come to us, just don't talk to the strange lady in the cellar. She's dangerous.
Dangerous. The point is, it toughens the kids up if they live a little bit on the street.
Have you? Yeah, no, I lived on the street. I can
Anyway,
on the street.
those kids look up to me as a hero, so they come with us.
All right, I think that's fine. Colbrass,
and as long as I do not have anything to do with them, okay?
No, don't worry.
It's not my business.
As I
You're
said,
not really that pleasant to be around, Gina. I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Actually, I have a charisma of 15.
A what?
We're not saying you're not.
I have a charisma of 15. And I mean, these are young adults, so I can actually teach them how to pout and being demoralized and or a little bit
you just stay away from those kids, Gina.
So and how to wear black. I can make proper goth out of them.
We need to keep those kids away from her.
Something is just wrong. Garen,
no, believe in death.
Yeah.
Could train them as hairdressers.
I'm sorry, Garen, but you should actually join me. You should support me here.
Gina, I know that our gods have much in common, but when it comes to our treatment of the living, I think there we part ways.
The point is, I do not treat the living; I only treat the dead.
Yes, and you can't await the day when they.
Yeah, it's your enthusiasm for them to cross the line.
I mean, think about embalming bodies. What is more fun? Somebody wrinkled or somebody fresh?
Yeah, I know. So Colbrass, I don't think that's what you expected when you went there.
No, but we have the information we were looking for. So
we have, and I think you did it. You did a good job. I think you both did. I'd like to thank you for your compassion and your generosity.
I do feel a bit odd, but it'll pass.
Well, I have to admit, this was a totally random, unplanned character development opportunity here. Is there any more information gathering, rituals, sacrifices, or anything else you want to do other than putting Thalia and her 2 kids to work in your villa? Your villa now has a staff of 3 plus 2 kids, doesn't it?
I thought actually we had about 5 people in the staff.
You have about 5? Okay.
We had 5 before to
9
run
and 12.
the villa in the Shrin.
9 and 12, and these are 2 boys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, they're actually with 12. They're not kids anymore.
They haven't done an initiation right. They're still a kid.
They're a kid.
Yeah, but they should
They're a
start
kid. They're
quickly
not
the
allowed. They can
initiation.
do labor, but they're still a
You
kid.
can
Yes.
make them labor. They're kids.
Yeah,
they're
but
not-
they can work. I mean, they
Yes,
can
exactly.
deal
Of
with
course
We're
they
not.
can.
We're
They're
not denying
kids.
that. They are going to work. They're going to clean weapons. They're going to tidy stuff. They're going to earn their keep, and they're going to learn how to hold a sword.
What
Maybe
if
they'll earn
we
the
bring
magnificent name.
what if you bring these kids to Wind Whistler and
Not
let
yet.
Wind Whistler? Not yet. Oh,
Oh,
that would be
God.
so much fun. That's such an experiment.
Yeah, one step after the other. I think.
And you complain about me?
She wasn't. I don't think the plan was for her to offer them as food to Wind Whistler.
No.
Now, as long as you can prove they're intelligent, they're safe.
Yeah.
Although for a moment I was thinking this is some sort of Ecolo has had some sort of B.F. Skinner experiment. Let us see what happens when we bring small children to be raised by a worm.
I fear they would become quite even stranger than Gina, probably.
But imagine the kind of knowledge they'll be able to absorb from that worm when they're that young. I mean,
Yeah, well,
Right. Let me know if
There's nothing wrong to be raised in a necropolis. I mean, that's fine.
No,
yes,
no,
it's perfectly fine.
Maybe the kids should also go to a necropolis.
No, they shouldn't.
No.
I do.
I'd rather have them raised by Wind Whistler than have them raised in a necropolis, to be honest.
We have to discuss this.
We do. We don't.
We really have to
because
discuss this.
We don't, because they'll stay here in our house.
And still, I do not like your attitude, Colbrust.
But what's
He's
wrong
got
with
a
my
great
attitude?
attitude.
No. Somehow you do not take me serious.
Oh, I do.
I think that's a problem. All right. Is there any other information you're wanting to gather in New Pavis?
No, I only have personal matter, which is the darn spirit always hovering over me.
Yes.
I need that. It's killing my sleep. It's making me wake up with like a start every morning. It's not really. It's making me, well, yeah. So I would like to, we could do this off screen, but I'd like to consult another fellow shaman on the issue.
Okay, let's do that off screen.
Yeah, we can do it off screen, but I'm just saying that it's something I want to spend time on.
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Is there anything else you're wanting to do in New Pavis? Because I would like us to go for the clearly one of the other things on your list before making your raid on Blind King's Castle, which will probably now happen next week, is setting up your new digs at Griffin Gate.
No, I forgot. There is actually one thing, and that is we know now that there might be an actual vampire. We should find someone to gather information about vampires for us, so that we could prepare. I can get spells that might work, things like that.
Oh, there's a Lankermai temple.
Yeah.
There's also a cult that really hates vampires that one of you all belongs to. Humacht.
Yeah.
Could you make a cult? And I believe you're even from the Milani tribe, right?
Kolimar.
Are you Kolimar? Even better.
Same as Nisk.
Same as Nisk. Would you roll against your Humacht lore, your cult lore Humacht?
Will indeed.
It's a knowledge skill.
Yes. That is a success with 38 against 43.
Okay, vampires are people that for twisted reasons have decided to dedicate themselves to Vivamort. Vivamort is a sort of god. He's one of the Lords of Terror. He's one of the chaos gods. Who Vivamort was wounded by chaos and his soul began to bleed out into the void, threatening him with total extinction. He made a bargain with the devil for continued existence, and now feeds on the souls and blood of other mortals in order to maintain his own cowardly existence that is neither dead nor alive. Humacht, who believes there needs to be very, very strict black lines between the dead and the living, hates Vivamort. But the Vivamort cult has great power in the upland marsh near the Kolimar lands, where there is a terrible entity called Delecti the Necromancer, who is a very ancient vampire and is served by many vampires out in the upland marsh. And they have the ability to raise zombies, skeletons, and bring and animate the dead. Does this sound familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And vampires are cursed by many, many gods, so they have all sorts of restrictions on how they can act, and in what circumstances they can act. They are creatures of darkness, so they avoid the light. They're hated by the river Styx, cursed Vivamort in the underworld, so vampires can't cross running water. And most of all, they are very susceptible to Humacht's rune of death. Tykortek also hates vampires.
I do.
So
no, my goddess does.
Yes, but Humacht and the Humacht cult in Sartar carries on a low-level war of attrition with the forces of the marsh. So, is that helpful information?
Do I know anything about whether vampirism affects different species differently? So, would say a vampire centaur be more dangerous or less dangerous, or act?
Well, vampire is much stronger than a human.
Right.
Would you know
much
if
stronger?
Put
They
a
are-
light. I'm sorry.
They are much stronger than humans. They can turn into mist. They have no soul and no spirit. Only what they drain from their prey. But the idea of a vampire human is much stronger than a human. I would imagine a vampire centaur would be much stronger than a centaur, and centaurs are very strong.
Right. So
if you actually do find a vampire centaur, we're in trouble.
You've never
Not as
heard of
much
a
trouble as a
vampire.
vampire duck.
You've never heard of there are ducks in the marsh, the ducks, but you've never heard of a vampire duck.
Ducks are very against the undead too.
Yeah.
They hate. Yes, the ducks hate the undead.
And
here's the other thing: where would their teeth?
Yeah. Don't even start.
well, I mean, look, Count Duckula managed. So,
Which is that I have to admit, there's the example of Count Duckula, and that certainly.
No, that's final. They exist. Okay, so
That makes me. Garrett, would a light wall weaken a vampire?
would it?
It was Yom that cursed them, not starlight or light.
So it'd have to be sunlight.
Sun spare or something like that.
Yeah.
But that's not. I don't think any one of us could.
But
actually
having
get
the
sun
ability to
spare.
cast light spells is really important if we're going to go underground. We learned that last time. You can bump your head if you try and go in somewhere. It's really dark in there. We only have little votive
Who bumped
candles.
their head really bad last session or two ago? Was that Gina?
Yeah,
No, that was 3 sessions ago, wasn't it?
it was a while
I
ago.
could actually cast a light wall on myself and be the beacon and have it permanent. Because of my ability to walk around it like a beacon.
You can cast a light on something. I'm thinking cast a light. Light walls don't move. It's a physical line of
Can't
something.
you actually concentrate and shape them?
No, not really. I don't think so. No, the light spells themselves, right? You can cast a light spell on shields. That's good.
Yeah.
Stuff like
So-
that, right?
so
We probably
anyway-
need that if we're fighting in darkness.
About Griffin Gate. How are we going to do that?
You tell me. What's your plan on this?
I mean, we're going.
Well, the question is, will we all live there, or is it just a sort of a way station, or?
What do you want to do? I think that.
I would move there at once. No problem.
So
Me too.
I think it's interesting to go there too. I'd stay there, especially for our counts and that. We probably want to have some people, and maybe we've got some already lined up. In fact, we've got to stay at the shrine, which we have, and then we can come back to that frequently as needed because it's not that far to town. But I agree. I think we should look at what we can do to set up there. Our challenge is, what do we do? Can we keep our herds there? How does that work? We probably have to look at all that stuff. We have a big enough group to be able to do that, by the way. But you'd have to send some of them out to watch after the herds and come in, or hire a couple of Praxians to help us with the herds. Because there are other groups that stay in the rubble, but there's probably more we need to do first. I mean, not for us personally to go there, but if you think about it, we probably got to deal with the brew. And then learn a lot more about the giant beforehand, because I think the giant can kind of move around more, but the brew are there, like right there. The giant's underground, or supposedly. I don't know.
I really hate Malia worshippers as well. So that's.
Who don't you hate? Can I just ask that? I mean, oh wait, we know that, but you're not allowed to like them. It's a Rexaran. But yeah, I think we should look at setting it up so we can at least spend several nights there. If we look at, I mean, it certainly saves a lot of time for transit back and forth, and we can start cleaning it up and getting it sorted out.
So here's a question I have. You've got a large number of people here. You could have everybody. It's not that far. If you remember, it's only a couple of kilometers away from New Pavis to the Griffin Gate, and you've got 15, 16 people now.
Yep.
Yeah.
You could carry a lot. They can carry a lot of stuff there, and you've got pack animals and whatnot. You can carry a lot of supplies and gear and whatnot, and set that up as a base this session if you want.
I think that works.
That's probably a good plan. We can set up, it might not even have to be in the Griffin Gate immediately if we're worried about brew incursions. We could set it up just outside.
No, I'd put it in the gate. I think it's going to be so much safer when the brewer are not going to come and mess with Wind Whisperer, right?
No.
You've got somebody upstairs who'll basically keep them away. And
also
for now,
defensive perimeters and stuff.
Yep.
All got good battle rolls, so we can put together a good sort of set of fortifications, even if they're only temporary.
Okay.
All right. So give me an idea. We don't need to have this at this point down to incredible specificity, but give me an idea what you're having your band all bring over to Griffin Gate.
So,
Gina,
flute.
your flute.
Orgo packs a lot of hairbrushes, different ones if you need more baboons. So, because I do not want to have the same hairbrush as he used for a baboon. I need a lot of balm and body oil and so on for corpses, and and some extra candles and so on, so I can do the proper ritual, maybe a skull or two. Yep, sharpening my axe, only in case.
So very practical things.
Very practical things. And of course, extra cloth, makeup, and so on, but this is something Orgo packs anyways.
All right. How about from the rest of you guys? Do you have an overall idea of what you would imagine?
Yeah.
Okay, and Colin, what? You've got a lot of people to carry stuff and a lot of animals.
Yeah. Well, I really do like my bed. I will bring my bedroll, sleep roll, bedding. Other than that, I'm a nomad. I carry all my belongings, so I pack up my Hasia, my extra shifts of clothing, and the important stuff, just like Gina. Everything.
Yep.
We're going to need food.
Hasia will
That's
keep
practical.
it going for a while.
We need food and
Water. We got to see what happens for there.
We will need. I mean, bedding for everybody is a good call. Then I'm already thinking. My main concern is making it defensible. So like shovels and stuff to dig some ditches, even if they're not that deep, and some stakes that we can put in.
Shovels. We have a big door, don't we? Can we close the door? I mean,
Even so, some layers, a couple of minor
so
layers.
you want layers outside the main entrance of the gatehouse for now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we need sacrifice animals?
You probably need to bring some animals. You probably want to bring something so we can get milk and stuff like that as well. The thing is that until we deal with more of the brew, we can't bring too many animals because they're probably going to get attacked.
Yeah.
Right?
How about we don't take the whole, our whole crew with us at all, but actually leave most of them there and just us 5 plus 2 or 3, sort of additional fighters mostly.
You mean to go to the, I want to bring the bandits. I want the bandits to live in the rubble. I don't want them to, I don't want to leave like the 5 bandits alone in our shrine.
No, they can come along, no problem.
So
I'm not sure I want to leave them. If we decide to go back to Pavis at any point, I'm not sure I want to leave them alone in a fortified Griffin gate. No, Winworth. Sorry, I keep forgetting that. Yeah, we've got a worm on our side. Yeah, they can. Yeah, good call. They can stay in the rubble.
Yeah. I mean, specifically, we want to give a base, and we want to make sure that they're going to get a more comfortable deal out of it. They're really still bandits. They're just our bandits, not somebody else's bandits. To me, but we should definitely, if you think about it, we should see if we can get, and I'm sure we can, some simple things like tables, and just to make it a place to live. We'll need the pots and pans. This is basically, setting up a semi-permanent residence.
Okay.
Yeah, Orgo can actually put everything together to manage a household.
Yeah. So how much time do you want to spend setting this up? And that's going to kind of give me an idea of what sort of condition this thing is going to be in when we start again. Is it basically just setting it up like you would a camp? Or is
a little more than a camp, but not more. But yeah, think of your weekend cabin as opposed to getting that stuff going. That's probably the closest.
So basically, you're spending about 2 days to set this thing up.
Because we've only got a couple of days for exploring. It's probably what's going to happen, and then we want to be back for the Storm Bowl High Holy Day. But then we've also got enough equipment that we can stay.
Which season do we have right now?
It's storm season.
About halfway through, I think.
Yeah, it is. You are, let's see, last week And I'm going to say you guys pretty much well spent most of Fertility Week doing the stuff that you guys did. All right? Because you guys did a lot of stuff during that week. You guys did sacrifices, yada, yada, yada. So I'm going to say that it is now Wild Day of Fertility Week. Storm Bowl's High Holy Day is 1 week from now.
Okay.
And jot that down onto into the notes. And that means with 2 days of setup, we will get we're going to start the next session the morning of Fire Day of Stasis, Freeze Day of Stasis Week. So the first day of Stasis Week. So you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days before Storm Bowl's Holy Day. And given that you're less than an hour away from the temple, that shouldn't be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
But Wind Whistler is very pleased by all of this. Wind Whistler the worm is very pleased. He offers he says, this is like it was. He is very pleased. Humans and dragons coexisting. It's the way it should be. This was the path of the Sun Dragon. The Sun Dragon was a dragon, but he was also a great ruler of men.
Did he perchance also have to do with monkeys?
Says, I didn't know they were sentient. I really,
sorry,
as Ouroboros is my witness, I thought they were sentient. I didn't think they were sentient.
Sorry, could I ask Wind Whistler, does the Sun Dragon know, well, do you know anything about light spells, things blessed of Yelm that we might take if we were to fight vampires, given your great knowledge of the Sun Dragon?
He says, vampire. He says, Vivimort was, of course, cursed by the powers of the sun, and therefore is cursed by the Sun Dragon. He says, he may have known something. He goes to a corner of. He actually asks you because who does actually Wind Whistler talk to the most? Is it Colbrast? Is it Garen? Who seems to have the strongest connection with Wind Whistler? Could be any of you all.
I think it's Colbrast.
Colbrast? He needs your help. Okay. He has no hands.
Sorry?
He wants you to come up to where to the top level of the gatehouse.
Okay.
The top
well,
floor.
If one hand is enough, of course.
And it's something he does not want anybody else going up to where he resides without his invitation. He says that is only good manners.
Absolutely.
But he gives you the right to go up there. And up on the top floor of the gatehouse, and it's pretty clear, I'm now going to have to set things up so that I know each of the floors here. There is a corner where he has accumulated treasure. There are more than a half dozen broadswords. There's piles of silver coins. There's a small pile, piles of coins, silver, gold, copper. There's some gems stacked up in his pile, some jewelry. But he asks you to grab the spear that's there
Okay.
with the broadswords.
Yeah, I take the spear.
And I just want you to, could you make a search or a scan
Mm-hmm.
or an evaluate? Do you have the evaluate skill?
Yes, I do. 45. Yep.
There's easily over, if you totaled all this stuff up, there might be as much as 1,000 lunars piled up here.
Okay.
I'm just saying, Colbrast.
Yeah, I know. So, Wind Whistler, that's quite a fine treasure you have here. Have you traded all this?
He says, most of it is from foolish people that would not, that insisted on fighting him.
Just a word to the wise. Don't show this to, bandits, people like that.
He says,
Because you might have realized that some of our companions are, shall we say, have not always been blessed with good fortune in life and have made up with it with creative ways of getting other people's money.
and at this point he bristles and he says, those that would take from him, he would devour.
Fair is fair. Okay, let's make a mental note of that.
He would devour, but he asks you to grab the spear.
Okay, I take the spear.
And the spear, you can notice this, it is not a bronze spearhead.
Mm-hmm.
It is an iron spearhead on the spear. And it is marked with the rune of light.
Okay.
Of light and truth. And he thinks that this might have some utility, but it may need to be blessed by a sun priest. Let me see if he actually is. Well, he is a priest of the sun dragon. I will have to ponder. I will have to ponder quite whether what he can do with this, and so I'll have to be reminded. But he thinks that this may be useful against them. At the very least, he says that a good spear. He was told long ago by one of your kind that a good solid spear is always worth something.
That is true, indeed, and it's a very fine spear.
But this is a good. So I've got that. You're gonna have. I now have a lot of stuff to put together and notes. So it sounds like next session we will get that all. What your location is and how that works, and we will dive immediately in to is your plan to go to Blind King's Hill, or is your plan to find the giant, or your plan to find the brew?
It's the hill.
Okay, so next session will be Blind King's Hill. Yes, Nkala.
Yes, but before that, if there's an opportunity to speak to Wind Whistler, the radiant, wonderfully beautiful Wind Whistler.
He is beautiful. His scales are so iridescent, and his feathers are magnificent.
He's radiant. I want to tell him about the story that we heard of the mummy living beneath Blind King's Hill, and the thought of the golden skull, which might be a dark troll. They weren't sure, keeping the mummy alive.
He says, "Well, he suspects that there are vampires in there is a vampire in the area. He suspects that.
Yeah.
Would a
Says that,
vampire make? Would a vampire also create zombies? That makes sense.
yes, that's why he says it's either vampires or it's Xerexarin.
So you don't think there's a mummy as well somewhere in there? You haven't heard anything.
Mummy, vampire. Well, he doesn't have hands. Mummy,
It's wings, right?
Ah.
So,
Same thing. Apples.
I mean,
oranges.
what is the difference between a mummy and a zombie in claw?
He says he doesn't know what's the difference between a mummy and a really old vampire in cloth.
Garen might know.
Garen might know, yeah.
Mhm.
I have no idea.
Do I know?
Could be undead, or I mean it's the undead. Who knows what happened? I mean, Delecti, it's known, wears he's so old. He wears his bodies out and possesses new corpses.
One day somebody's going to have to deal with that abomination.
So, I mean, vampires, very old vampires are like anything that has been around for a very long time. They tend to accumulate tricks and secrets that take lifetimes to master, but they have lifetimes. Any other questions for Wind Whistler right now? Then I would like to have this be a good stopping point for next time, because it is already fairly late. We actually, although we covered very little, we had a lot of character development.
A lot of laughing too, which is always wondrous.
Colbrast is clearly on it turns out Colbrast has a soft spot for kids.
that is really strange. But, you know, you had to get young pirates as well. As
I mean, he
pirates.
could actually marry the widow and then claim them as his own.
Yeah, well, you know, let's take this slowly.
One step at a time. One step at a time.
They're just learning weaponry. I mean, come on.
So I'd like to stop this here. I want to thank everybody for a great session, and we will schedule the next one for very soon. And with that, I just want to thank everybody for watching another episode of The Adventures of the White Bull, or Tales of the White Bull. Thank you all for watching this. Neil?
Thank you. Thank you, and tune in next week.